It's the dawn of a new age. We're not talking about omni-channel. This is ultra-channel engagement. Let's go bigger. Let's get more connected, interconnected, multi-connected. That's when you know you have reached your goals. This is not personalization. It's inside the person. Personalization. Tomorrow is past. Let's focus on tomorrow's tomorrow, the day after the next day. That's where innovation is waiting, and it won't wait long because it will be.
Wait. Brian, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
I mean, seriously, Corey, that's because it is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, can we get back to the basics? I mean, let's bring it back to what matters, and that is the customer. I mean, really, it takes understanding. It takes insight to improve the customer experience. You got to know what they want and what they care about, what they really need. I mean, innovation is really possible once you get back to the basics of the customer. My name is Brian Morris. I'm a partner here at PwC, and I'm the product owner of Customer Link. This is my colleague, Corey Cedarquist, who leads analytics. And we believe that Customer Link, with over 60,000 attributes for over 270 million customers in the US, as well as 26 million businesses, and the analytics capabilities allows us to know these customers better than they know themselves.
Wow, that sounds great, Brian, but consumers aren't going to take your word for it. You know, preferences and needs have changed over the past year. Customer loyalty is really dead.
Yeah.
I was just talking to a friend I grew up with about how he's planning to switch banks because they seem so out of touch. The mail offers and the phone calls, it's just too much for him.
I mean, you know, the funniest part about that actually is that you actually have a friend. I mean, like the one friend, but I know that offer must have been really bad. I mean, even I know not to call him anymore.
That's right. Yeah, let me tell you about him. He works as a computer programmer. His wife stays at home taking care of their young son. They juggle paying their bills off of one income. Most importantly, though, he just wants to be left alone by his bank.
Yeah.
He received a cash promotion offer saying he would get $1,500 if he deposited $200,000.
$200,000.
Can't believe it. If this guy had that kind of money laying around, he would be at the casino, investing in meme stocks, and in buying the latest crypto, not putting that money into a checking account.
I mean, where does this guy live? Next to me?
Well, let me tell you. Let's show you in the Customer Link app. So I looked at where we grew up. And what I've done is I've identified all of the different bank branch locations and built a catchment of consumers that are within 5-minute driving distance for each location.
Yeah.
Once I start to look at those consumers, I can clearly see these people can't afford this offer.
I mean, you know, this looks like a classic example of a bank leading with product and not the person.
It pisses me off.
I do.
When I further investigate that population, looking at things like income, looking at variables of whether they're in the market for a checking account, and overlaying some of our machine learning signal capabilities, I can see that audience, 42 people that would have remotely even qualified.
Jesus, 42. I mean, that looks like they just flushed money down the toilet.
It really does.
Let me ask you a question, Corey. How would you have done this if you started with Customer Link?
Well, Brian, it's a great question. And I think it all comes down to going back to the basics.
Yep.
You need to understand what's in a consumer's financial wallet. You need to understand what their preferences are, what they need. So if I look at that same audience, it's clear to me, these people have checking accounts, savings accounts, but they're burdened with a high amount of student debt. These people are value hunters, they're rate hunters, but they have low financial confidence. And what they really need, Brian, is a product that allows them to save, to borrow. If I was to give this offer, I would have led with a savings vehicle, you know, an aggressive rate, and I would have focused it on how do I reduce my student loan debt or accelerate towards a milestone purchase such as a mortgage. And I would have delivered it through the convenience and the digital fulfillment of a mobile app.
Oh, makes sense. I mean, look, if banks only had access to this kind of customer preference, needs, and behavioral data, I mean, they'd actually be able to understand that your friend, and I mean like singularly, your one friend, what they actually want out of their bank.
It's unfortunate, but you know, Brian, judging by the color of your hair or maybe the lack thereof, I would assume that these banks have figured you out. They must understand what you want and need after your very long history with them.
You know, you'd think so, Corey, but they still get it wrong. I mean, I was just talking to my cousin who lives in the Midwest about a co-branded offer that she just received. I mean, she's been bunkered in her house since the beginning of this pandemic, and she has no plans on leaving. I mean, She's like a hermit. Guess what? She just told me she received an offer to go to, you know where?
Where?
Florida.
Ooh.
Oh, I mean, she's more likely to get to go to Florida than sitting next to Jeff Bezos on his next joyride up into space.
Yeah, bring your cowboy hat. So Brian, let's jump back into Customer Link and take a look at an audience around where your cousin lives in the Midwest.
Yep.
We can very clearly see it's an affluent audience. Maybe that runs in the family.
Yeah, I think it does.
And at the surface level, these seem like older consumers willing to travel and can afford travel. But if I look and dig a little bit deeper,
Yeah.
I can, by looking at some of our PwC proprietary survey information,
Wow.
based on risk aversion, health consciousness, or people unwilling to travel, I can see that about half those people that were given that offer, they're not planning to go to Florida.
Flush down the toilet again.
It's sad. It's sad. Now, if we get back to what these customers really have in their wallets, what they prefer and what they need, we can see these are very financially confident people. They're willing to diversify. They're willing to take a look at offers, and they're really just looking to focus on their investment strategies.
Wow.
Also, if I look at their psychographic information, we can see they're health conscious, they're philanthropic, they shop online. Maybe a better offer would have been an exclusive, low intro APR card with a rewards program either focused on charitable donations, maybe that the bank matches,
Yeah.
or a rewards program that ties into an investment account for their children or their children's children.
It's clear. I mean, look, if the brands would just do the basic understanding of what their customers' wants and needs are, I mean, they could start selling more. They would have higher customer engagement as well as lower attrition. I mean, think about how much more they get out of this innovation conference right now if they just got back to the basic. Every customer is different. Look, come talk to us about Customer Link and how we can help you understand your customers better.
Come talk to us.
Oh!